Welcome to the Intuitive Therapist Podcast with Janis R. Cohen, therapist, clairvoyant, empath, and medium. Listen in as she takes a no-nonsense deep dive into real human struggles and how to resolve them. Janis will share channeled information from her spirit guide team, as well as the angels and archangels, to help you master your emotional, physical, financial, and spiritual destiny. And now, Janis R. Cohen.
Hey y'all, this is Janis Cohen, the Intuitive Therapist here on the Intuitive Therapist Podcast. Well, God bless, it's November already. Can you believe it? A couple more months until the new year. And as I think about that, I think about how we are living our lives for the rest of the year. What are we going to do? What's our perception? How do we think about things in a way that gives us an opportunity to grow and develop? And I was thinking, people come to me to help them out of emotional pain and struggle. It's what I signed up for when I decided to be a therapist. I mean, I love my work. It's actually not really work for me. It's a joy to be able to help clients make massive emotional, perceptual, and heartfelt shifts in a really short amount of time. But one thing that's a common theme among my clients, as well as, really all of us, is that we all have problems. Now, that's kind of a natural thing to know about people, but one thing that is a common theme, right, like I said, is that we all have problems, and how you see your ability to solve them determines the quality of the life that you have. So let me ask you this. How do you see your ability to solve problems in your life? Are you somebody who becomes immobilized when things go wrong or doesn't work out? Or are you somebody who's able to step back, shift your perspective, and find not just one solution, but maybe many? You see, problem solving is a skill that you need to build up. Just like if you go to the gym and you have a desire to change your physique, firm and tone your body, you need to work out with weights on a regular basis, right? At least with weights. Well, if you've never worked out before or haven't worked out in a while, you wouldn't just go for the 50-pound weights, right? You'd have to build up to that weight by first starting with a lower weight that you could do reps with to build that initial muscle. And the same goes for problem solving. You see, if you've been somebody who's prone to fight or flight when problems come along, you'll most likely align with a scary or catastrophic response, one that pushes you into a rabbit hole with no way out. You're caught. You're imprisoned by your problem. You don't see any way out. But what if you don't realize that for every problem, there's one thing that they all have in common? And that one thing is, can I get a drum roll, please? A solution. Now, you might think that sounds pretty simple and kind of stupid. You're like, Janis, of course I know problems have solutions. But do you know how many people can't find their way out of their perceived hole and find a solution? You see, when we're faced with challenges, we respond with fight, flight, freeze, or solve. And you can't solve a problem with the same thinking that created it, can you? Nope, not at all. But you can solve a problem if you change the way you see it. And that's the trick. That's where you find the solution. You see, it's not about whether or not the problem is solvable. It's more about whether or not you give yourself permission to solve it. No one is ever imprisoned by a problem. We create binds in our minds that make us feel that way, as if there's only one right solution or there's no way out. We're caught in a binary bind between two things only. It's either this or that, black or white, good or bad. But what if I told you that if you change the way you see the problem, that solutions will feel like they come out of nowhere? Don't believe me? Let me paint this scenario. Okay, you're driving on the road and you suddenly get a flat tire. So you decide to pull over on the side of the road and get out of harm's way and take a look and see how bad it is. And you see that the tire is totally blown. You can't drive the car, and you are headed to a meeting that you can't miss. What do? Do you panic and freak out and start hyperventilating, telling yourself, oh my God, I'm screwed. There's no way I can get to this meeting on time. I'm going to get fired and I'll never be able to work again. So you plop down on the side of the road and sit there feeling sorry for yourself. Now, some people might actually do this, so don't knock it. Don't be so judgy pants. Or do you take a breath and talk yourself through it step by step by step? Okay, first let me call a tow truck. I'm okay, thank goodness. Next, let me call the person that I'm meeting with and think of some options. Maybe I can let them know that I got a flat tire and that it's being towed, and can we meet via phone or Zoom? Or you can call an Uber and go to the meeting with your client, right? If you took steps back further from the initial shock of having a flat tire, are there other solutions that you might think of that could help you solve this problem? Of course there are. Look, you're always going to have problems that you need to solve. But if you use the same lens that caused it, the same thinking, you won't be able to solve it. And furthermore, if you looked at it and asked, what's the lesson in it for me? You'd be even more masterful at problem solving, because you could then do something that could prevent problems like this in the future, right? It could have been that you were being protected in some way by this tire going flat, that if you had continued driving, you would have gotten into a car accident, which might have damaged your car even more, maybe even totaled your car, or worse, you could have been hurt. See, that's a change in perspective. There are blessings in the problems that we have, and there are solutions to them too. We're not supposed to just suffer. You just got to look for the solutions. But if you use the same mind that created the problem, you likely won't be able to solve similar problems or even greater problems that really require masterful problem-solving skills. Is this making sense? Don't ever believe that the problems you have can't be solved. You're definitely not the only person in the world with challenges like the ones you have, and you will not be the last. So it's time to change how you view your capacity to solve your problems, because with a bit of distance and observation, along with a calm mind and the trust of your intuition, problems will come and go as quickly as you solve them. I wish you a blessed day, a wonderful week, and always live intuitively. And I want to remind you, I've got something very special coming up in December, and I'm prepping for it now. I'm so excited, and I want you to be the first to know about it. So let me encourage you to sign up for my opt-in. If you go to my website, janisrcohen.com, that's JANISRCOHEN.com. You'll see a pop-up. You can do it there, or you could see it on the top part of my website. Go ahead, put your name, your email address in, get on my wait list, because I promise you, you are not going to want to miss this program. I'm not going to tell you what it's about, but it's something awesome. So go ahead, get your name and email on my list, and you'll be the first to know when I release the program. Have a great day, a great week, and always live intuitively.
Thanks for listening to The Intuitive Therapist. If you like what you heard, the best compliment you can give us is to share this podcast with a friend, and be sure to give us some stars and a favorable review at Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen in.